Welcome back to another video. In today's one, I am showing you something that you will fall in love with if you haven't tried it. And the people that love this will be very excited for it. So it's two ways. Okay, so we're having a chicken mayo and vetkoek. So I'm gonna show you how I do my chicken mayo. I don't like it when the chicken tastes like it was boiled and boiled and boiled and then you just shredded it. So I put a bit of spice in it. I put some black pepper, some salt, some onion powder, and then I put some garlic a bit later on. And then yeah, so just put the spices both sides of the breast, and then later on I'm gonna add a bit of cream just to soften the chicken breast because the chicken breast tends to dry out. So putting some cream or milk helps it not to dry out. So I love vetkoek and mince, and I love vetkoek and chicken mayo. So it was actually quite funny when I said to my family that I wanted to make vetkoek. Everybody says with chicken mayo. So I'm like, okay, then chicken mayo wins. And it was really good. But I made them quite big that you just have one and then next day you can have for lunch. And also they're generous so you can share. All my recipes are all about sharing. Share with your family and friends. Don't just share the video. Share what you make. Show them how to make it. Things like that. Invite them over when it's safe to do so, and then cook for them. So you just fry because the breasts are quite big. So you just fry them for 3 minutes each side before you add the cream. Or you can just heat them with the tenderizer thing. I think that's what it's called. And then make them flat. Then that way they cook quickly as well. So I add the garlic a bit later on so that the flavor, when I am shredding the meat and I'm putting the mayo, the garlic flavor is still there and it's still beautiful. But if you do not want the garlic flavor, you can just skip this part and then don't put any. And then now we're just adding some cream, and then we're just gonna cover it and lower the heat and let it just do its thing. This really helps with the chicken breast. Let's see what it looks like. You can see the cream has already started to turn a color similar to the chicken breast. And then yeah, so you just fill it with your hand and then see how far it needs to go. If you're not sure, just take it out and cut it in the middle. If it's still pink, it needs to go a little bit more. But if it's turning white, then you know that it's ready. Because chicken breast is one of those, or chicken is one of those meats that you can't eat medium rare, or you have to make sure that it's fully cooked. So we're just gonna check. So I use my finger to see how soft it still is. When I feel that it's firm, then I know that it's ready. But it still needs to be nice and juicy. So this cream situation helps it to be that juicy. And you can also use this recipe even if maybe you're having pasta, and then you just cut into small slices and then pour your sauce over it. Whatever you need to do. There, it shows that our meat is ready. Now we're just gonna get shredding. You need some proper muscles because it ain't easy. I need to invest in a shredder something if there is one, because this is a lot of work. That's why I also don't make it regularly, because it's a lot of work. And this chicken mayo, you can also use it in a pie. You can, it's exactly the same steps, but then you can just put your mayonnaise and then put it in some puff pastry and then put it in the oven. Now you got a chicken mayo pie. You can put it in a wrap. If you make some tortillas, you can put it in, and then you got a chicken mayo wrap. So you can add other things to it, but this one, the simpler the better. You do not have to go crazy. So I use the salad cream as my mayo because of the tanginess. I've got acid reflux, so I try not to eat things that are too tangy, sour, things like that. As much as I love them, I'm currently just staying away from them until I sort this out if I can, and then I'm gonna get back to eating it. But you can get mayo, it is absolutely 100% fine. And then you just mix everything until it's nice and juicy. Don't leave it to be dry, because sometimes I've tasted chicken mayos that didn't have enough mayo, or somebody ran out of mayo and they just gave it to you like that. It becomes too dry. Now we're making our Vetkoek. We just need some water, some warm water, 2 cups of warm water, a packet of yeast, some sugar, and then the sugar helps the yeast to start bubbling, because the yeast feeds on the sugar. Then we put some salt, so it doesn't need a lot of ingredients. So if you want this Vetkoek to be sweet, then you just add a bit more sugar, and then that's it. That's the only thing that you can change, I guess. But because we eat them as a savory dish with some mince or some chicken mayo, I put less sugar, or you can even put no sugar if you want. And then some oil, just help to fluff things up inside. So when you fry it, you actually see that it's like a bread inside, so the water doesn't absorb. If you do it, I mean, not the water, the oil doesn't absorb when you're frying it. So please do it this way that I'm doing it. If you want that runny one, then when you're frying it, there is oil inside, but this one there isn't. When you cut it up, as you're gonna see later on, you see that it actually looks like bread inside. Now we just need this for 5 minutes. This is so different to donuts. You don't need to work and work and work. You don't need a lot of ingredients. You just need it for 5 minutes. You can use your hands also, still 5 minutes, and then just oil your bowl and then get your dough inside and let it rise. So because it was a bit cool, I actually let it rise in the microwave, but you can also leave it at room temperature if the temperature is hot outside or in your house as well. And then just make sure that your hands have got oil, so that the dough is not sticking to your hands when you are trying to fold it. Now we just gently take it out. It's a bit sticky, but it's okay. That's what helps with the fluffiness, and it's so smooth. And it was literally 5 minutes to put everything together. I didn't need to leave the yeast for a while and all of that, because it's instant yeast. You don't have to do that, but you can if you want, because sometimes that's how you see if your yeast is expired. So you can try that. So now we just put it in our bowl and cover with either with a wet towel or with the cling wrap. I was just going to wash my hands, and then now we just cover it with cling wrap. My niece was busy cutting behind the camera, so don't be surprised what's going on. Now we just let it rise for 30 minutes. Don't leave it any longer, because they become a rock if you leave it too long. Your Vetkoek are gonna become like a rock, and that's when they also drink a lot of oil when you're frying them. So 30 minutes is plenty time to let it rise for the first time. Now just punch the dough down, massage it like April's doing, or also don't be violent like me. And yeah, don't take your frustrations out on the dough, or you can. It's up to you. But now we just flour the surface and take it out and cut it. So I cut this into 10, but you can cut it into smaller balls. I actually realized later that they were a bit too big, but it was okay, because you just have one, then you don't have to keep going back. But you can make them smaller. So let's say maybe you can cut them into 14, and that's also fine. Just cut everything. So what I do is I take the dough and then I flatten it. I hit it inside my palm with the other hand, and then I start flattening it. Not too much that I need a rolling pin, just flattening it with my hands, so that when it rises now the second time, the air can go in and help it to start lifting, so that when you're frying it, it's almost like a pita bread. It starts puffing up, and yeah, You need all these steps. So this second one, it is also good. Do not skip it because it's not a lot of time. It's really not a long time. And also it doesn't have to be 20 minutes a second rise. If it's nice and warm, it could be 10 minutes and then you can be heating your oil. Now we just cover with a wet towel or a cling wrap and let it rise for the second time. Our oil is already hot, so now we just fry. And I was very careful when I was putting it in because I did not want that explosion to happen because this is quite a shallow pan. So just put it in gently, and then when you see the sides start turning golden, count down 3 minutes and then you turn it. So I was holding the edge so it wasn't hot. Also, I've seen this, a lot of people, even my niece always say to me, how do you not get burnt? How do you not get burnt? If I try to do what you do there, I got burnt. Like, I got burnt so many times when I started cooking. I've been cooking since I was like 5. So, yeah, I got over it. But if it's a big burn, then obviously I'm not going to be over it. But yeah, so look at that golden color. That's what you are looking for. And don't let them sit too long now when they're like this, the one side, because they'll start burning the other side. Because there's a lot of air in the middle, so it actually cooks quickly. So you can do 3 minutes one side and then maybe 1 minute the other side, because it goes by quickly now. Look at that. And you can see the oil is already like dropping in the pan and it doesn't look oily when you're taking it out. When you cut it inside, it's even better. Now we just continue the process and fry all of them. So please try it and let me know what you think. For those that love Vetkoek, you are welcome. Please try it and enjoy. Look at that. How gorgeous, how gorgeous. And you can see the oil like disappearing so quickly. And then when you take them out, just put them on a paper towel or on a kitchen towel so that you can grab whatever oil that is left on it. Now we're just doing the last batch. Transition time. So look at that. Yes. The last ones, look how beautiful they look though. How gorgeous. There you go. All done. How beautiful do those look? Now we just cut it. Looks like bread. There's no oil. You can see there's no oil inside. It's like the oil just cooked outside and then just left it inside. It didn't touch anything inside. Now you just put your favorite. You can even put bacon and cheese and egg and whatever. Make a sandwich, anything that you like to do. Thank you so much for spending some time with me during this video. Please share it with your friends and family. Try it for them. Try it for yourself. Try it and let me know what you think. It is so easy to make. It is so simple, yet so yummylicious. So this is an alternative to eating bread. You can have this and it's just as delicious, if not more. Look at that. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye.